Hello everybody, welcome back to our Biology Sunday. Okay, this sharing of the Biology Complete Looks for IBDP 2025 syllabus again. Okay, now we are on the A2.3 viruses. AHL, the whole section 2.3, A2.3 for viruses is additional higher level. So for SLs, friends, okay, take a break again. Okay. First of all, when we talk about viruses, we have to learn about any common structure of virus. We have some simple structure for the viruses look like this, but it is not very accurate because the virus has a lot of differences actually. It is just the common structure. The common structure is this head of protein, and inside the head of protein is nucleic acid. Okay, and the nucleic acid contain the genetic material. It can be a DNA or RNA. And the common feature is a virus has no cytoplasm, and virus has a very few M-site inside it. Okay, so virus has a relatively few feature in common. Okay, the structure of virus are not. We'll see the picture down there, completely different. Okay, different structure of viruses. Okay, diversity of viruses structure. Okay, viruses are highly diverse in the shape and structure. Even with the genetic material, they can be RNA or DNA. So it can be single strand RNA or double strand DNA. So they are completely different. Okay, and then viruses can be have different way to penetrate through the cell membranes of the host. They may burst or not. Okay, we'll talk about different cycles later. A typical example of viruses with different structures below: bacteriophage lambda, coronavirus, and HIV. Completely different shape. Okay, under the electron microscope. And we're talking about comparing the sizes. Okay, electron microscope or using a light microscope is enough. Okay, for unicellular organism. Okay, from the small to large structure. Okay, the cell membrane is the shortest one. Okay, smallest one, and then the virus is the second smallest, and then bacterium, and then the organelle. In a multicellular organism, the size is from small to large, will be organelle, cell, tissue, organ, system, and organism. So much more complicated structures, okay, from small to large. And electron microscope has a higher, greater resolution and magnification than the light microscope. Okay, for example, for the light microscope, the limiting will be 0.2 micrometer, but for the electron microscope, it can be 1 nanometer. Give you a concept, it's 1 nanometer. It's about 10 atom size. Okay. Crazy, you can see something that's 10 atom size large. Okay, so small. Okay. So by the electron microscope, lots of things can be seen, but for the light microscope, membrane structure, virus, bacterium, and a small organelle is too small to be viewed by light microscope. But thanks to the electron microscope, now we can view them too. And then we have a two cycle for virus. We'll talk about them one by one and then compare them. For the lytic cycle, lytic cycle is one of them. Okay. A reason for not taking virus as a living organism, okay, because the viruses they rely on whole cell for everything immediately. Energy supply, nutrient, protein synthesis, and other life functions. Virus is not a cell. Actually, really need the whole cell. For example, virus cannot be produced by itself. Okay? And virus does not have a normal life function like a metabolism or homeostatic. Nothing. Okay. For example, there are two cycles for virus. One is the lytic cycle. Another cycle is how the virus will reproduce itself. Okay, we use this cycle to reproduce itself using the whole cell, and we use bacteriophage lambda as an example. First of all, is the absorption phase. Okay, the bacteriophage are connected with the whole cell. Okay, connected, being absorbed by the whole cell, you can say. And then penetration, okay, then the bacteriophage penetrate through the membrane into the host cell, and then the replication stage. The virus introduces its own genome to the host cell and take control or hijacking the host cell's cellular machinery, and then copies of immature virus are produced by the host cell. Hijacking, I like the word, okay? And then waits for a while for the viruses to be mature. For example, the capsule, okay, the capsid, okay, the protein had to be changed to be mature, and then they will burst out. Burst out, this final step is important for the lytic cycle, so the whole cell will die. Okay. Compare with it, there's another cycle for virus, is so lysogenic cycle. the same thing, okay, the same virus controlled or combined with the whole cell, but this time not just hijacking it, it lets the whole cell to survive, okay. So the virus uses the whole cell to reproduce the virus continuously and doesn't destroy it by bursting out, okay. So the whole cell continue to replicate the bacteriophytes nucleic acid, okay, inside its genomes, okay. So the difference between lytic and the lysogenic cycle is lytic burst out and kill the whole cell. Lysogenic live with the whole cell for a longer time. And you think about where does the virus come from? This is just only a theory, okay? So there are several origins for the virus. First, we look at the diversity of viruses. Viruses has a great diversity, okay? But they still share the same genetic code. Remember the genetic code, the 64 codon, as a living organism. So it's just they come from the same. We come from the same origins, existing living organism and the viruses, okay? But there are too many different kinds of viruses. So we think that the viruses may come from different origins, okay? And then, for example, viruses share very similar characteristic as the parasites, okay? But we think that they are not coming from the same sources, okay? So maybe they are under the same environment, okay? They have to, the viruses and their parasite has to adapt to the same environment, similar conditions, so they evolve to this very similar trials. So we call this kind of independent evolution to similar trials, okay, but not from the same source. We call it convergent evolution, okay. We'll talk about these different kinds of evolution very soon, okay. And the possible origin of the virus is just a theory. So first of all, virus has some genetic, right? Just genetic the DNA and RNA. So maybe they come from the cell, okay? The cells that cellular genes escape from the cell and becomes just the virus. And maybe the virus come from the pre-cellular life, okay? And pre-cellular life develop into cell and develop to a virus as a separation, okay? Divergence, okay? And maybe virus is the parasite, okay? And the parasite, intracellular parasite degenerates and then come out again. The remains becomes the virus because virus and the parasite are very close together. So for the convergent evolution, we rely on number 3, right? Difference, okay? But under the same circumstances, the virus and the parasite develop into very similar characteristic. And the virus has a rapid evolution for the virus. So human or the drugs is hard to catch with them. We have a quick competition with them. First of all, why? Virus has a high mutation rate. Why is it? Because first of all, virus, some of them use RNA. RNA is single strand, not double strand, very unstable, okay? So they can mutate very quickly. And also, virus has a short generation time, okay? Remember, by both the lytic or lysogenic cycle, okay? They just go to one whole cell and then hijacking the system, and then they can reproduce a lot of virus quickly. So it has a large population sizes too, okay? Okay, this is the reason why viruses can evolve so rapidly and adapt to the host environment. So we can say a virus is a very effective design to adapt to the extremely different host environment. And then, for example, influenza virus, some is a common flu. Okay, influenza virus, they evolve very quickly. Okay, and then because they are genetically unstable, unstable means that they mutate quickly. Okay, it can evolve to a large change in a biological characteristic. Okay, so it can adapt to new hosts. Okay, it can even adapt or evolve into new infectious diseases. Okay, so we always heard about new flu coming out. Okay, that's the reason. And we for the rapid evolution, we can't not mention HIV. HIV is one of the fastest evolution longer. It is 1 million times as higher than human. So its mutation rate is 1 million times as higher than the human. So it has a fairly random variation power, okay, to adapt to the selective but different environmental pressures, okay. So we can develop resistance to any drugs quickly and compete with the drug quickly. So it is hard to be cured. HIV cannot be cured, and just can be controlled by ART by introducing different kind of drugs quickly, okay. Thank you. That's the sharing for viruses. Okay. So look forward for next Sunday for another section. Okay. If you like our channel, remember subscribe and share it with your friends. Okay. See you next week. Bye.